Okay, hello. I haven't done this in a really long time. So I'll start by acknowledging that the traditional and ancestral lands that I'm so honored to live, love, explore, learn, and live on are relationally connected to many Indigenous folks in this region, which is also Métis region number 4. In this region, namely Cree, Niitsitapi, Blackfoot, Tsuut'ina, Anishinaabe, Nakota Sioux, Métis. Namely, those folks nurtured this land in its bounty and providence for hundreds, millions, for time immemorial, before my ancestors ever arrived here. This place colonially is called Edmonton. However, a Cree word for this place is a Miskwachi Waskahikan, which loosely translates to Beaver Hills House. The reason for my presence here is because I'm a descendant of settlers, and because for various reasons my ancestors arrived from Ireland, Poland, France, and England. And whether or not they had good intentions or not, which I believe they did based on my research, they were not aware of the impact of their arrival on the Indigenous peoples of this place. And there was an impact, and there's been a long-term negative impact for the Indigenous peoples. And because I am a descendant of that, my lifelong commitment is to live reparatively and decolonially, both personally and on a professional level, which looks like learning, always enhancing my awareness. My learning will be forever as a white descendant of settlers, by teaching and advocating for folks, by showing up and sharing my gifts and talents on a grassroots level, and giving back to these communities here locally with authenticity and through relationship building. And I believe that that is what reparations for me on a personal level look like. And so I honor this place and its peoples, and I will continue to honor this place and its peoples through my relational decolonial approach, as mentioned. So today I want to talk about calla lily, which has been on my mind and heart for some time. And when that happens, I think that there's probably often a collective reason for that. And I think the flower is speaking to me when it keeps showing up. So I have a picture of it here. I got this picture from Wikimedia Commons, which is a place where you can get media that has been given by artists, so photographers, and give their media to Wikimedia Commons to be used by the public. The photographer of this one is called Alan Vernon. So thank you, Alan Vernon, for your work. Here's a picture of the calla lily. Whoa. Which I think is really beautiful. I want to show that picture so I can talk about the signature of the plant. The spirit medicine of the calla lily really helps to amplify our mind, body, heart, and soul's total capacity to embody a non-dualistic perception and application to life. So, what does that mean? As people who live in societal structure that is colonial and therefore patriarchal and capitalistic, we are entrenched in a very dualistic application to life, which is an either or, black or white, win or lose. It's imposed onto our sexual and gender expressionism. It is imposed onto our perceptions of self, the ways that we move economically. It's just like inescapable, this dualistic approach that has been inflicted onto this nation, really, by colonialism. And the opposite of that is a both and mentality, where we can consider, for example, that it is very real, plausible, and even healthy to be angry and satisfied at the same time, to be grieving and grateful at the same time. So often we've been pulled into or prostrated into the either or mentality, which has us believe that if we're angry and we feel injustice, then that must mean that we're not being grateful enough or whatever. I mean, that's such a spiritually bypassy, spiritually abusive kind of infliction. But the non-dualistic capacities or encouragements of the calla lily helps us to expand our consciousness into non-duality, which is inherent in us. It's an innate quality of the spirit that is actually natural. Dualistic approach is actually quite unnatural. So the calla lily medicine helps us to lean into our more innate, non-dualistic understanding of ourselves, life, or the world. Now I'm going to bring this picture back up because I want to talk about the signature of the plant. So the study of plant signatures is the study of how plants present themselves in nature, either relative to their appearance or under what conditions they thrive and grow, how they naturally present themselves in nature provides information for us about what the medicine is for. So in this case, the calla lily it embodies non-dualism in the way that it appears very phallically. It's a very phallic flower. And what that means, for those that don't know, is that it represents of course it disappears. It represents the so-called male phallus in the center. And that is surrounded by the so-called female phallus. So it's both in one. Now, I'm not talking about like the actual plant biology and the, which part of the plant is the pollinating fact, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about the actual biology of the plant. I'm talking about the way that it appears in nature. And through that appearance, see, sometimes higher beings like plants will express themselves to us humans in ways that we understand. So this has the appearance of both phalluses in one, which really embodies and expresses to us its capacity for imparting a non-dualistic perception. It's both and. It's both in one. And so when we take the calla lily, it really can help us with a decolonial approach to life and with honoring and appreciating concurrent experiences and possibilities that are occurring so often at the same time. So often it's both and, not either or. Actually, I would say always it's both and, not either or. So calla lily is a medicine that helps us unpack and deconstruct the dualistic mentality that has been very much forced upon us by our colonial systems. Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. Thanks. Bye.